role of crypto, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency valuation. I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold in many ways. It's going to transcend any one currency and currency valuation. It's digitizing gold. It's going to transcend gold.
What's going on, guys? K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. What is happening with the Bitcoin price? So we started the week in the 51,000 area, and then Bitcoin shot all the way up over $57,000. Now, where is this buying pressure coming from? Well, there's a very interesting theory that I do want to go into today, but really quick, having a look at what's going on in the chart, you could see that we did break out of this parallel channel, and remember, we said this was a bullish megaphone pattern, right, where we had this lower lows, but we also had these higher highs, and this is generally a continuation pattern, and you can see that we did get that support right here, which is why we're seeing price bounce off of this area. In fact, if we have a look at just Bitcoin's quarterly returns, right now, Bitcoin is on track to put out its best ever Q1 leading into a halving period. So obviously there's a lot of things about Bitcoin that we've never seen before, right? We've never been this high, price-wise leading into the halving. And I got to tell you something, guys, this is crazy, but excluding the ETFs, excluding all the indicators that we look at on this channel, there's also something right now that Bitcoin has never done before. And not only has it never actually done this before, in theory, it shouldn't be doing this, which is insane. I want to talk about the conspiracy of who might actually be buying Bitcoin right now, why this is happening, and also the fact that, time might be running out, because as we said, if we keep this parabolic trend running and it doesn't break, I mean, you're talking about some very, very high price targets happening very quickly. So I want to talk about what is specifically happening, right? Because, if we come over here and we have a look, yes, we have this longer parallel channel, and you could say that we haven't had full confirmation on this breakout just yet. But again, this is why the TA works, because we had this area right here. We consolidated under the heart line, right? Then we consolidated above the heart line, fake out retest on the major trend line, recapture the heart line, and touch the top again. I mean, this is a perfect trading pattern if you guys were looking to do that. And I want to just jump into this super quick before we get to the point of the video. But as you guys can see, Bitcoin is seriously starting to gear up on this parabolic trend. Now, yes, at some point, these trends do look to break. And, as you guys can see right here, we did hit the 0.618. We did have a 20% retracement. But that was basically the dip to be buying, right? And where are we right now? We're exactly at the 0.786. So this is the next area, and we have hit this target. Now, after this, guys, just to point it out, there's nothing stopping Bitcoin really from this point going back to new all-time highs. I mean, the only thing we have after the 0.78 is literally the 1. Which means we just go back to all-time highs. And I can tell you something, guys, I'm not saying we're going to go to all-time highs tomorrow, but at the rate that these prices are moving, it could happen faster than most can think. And this is what happens with markets, right? They take time, they start, you start to have that accumulation, you start to have that slow grind up, and then the next thing you know, every day you're opening your phone and you're having $1,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 candles for Bitcoin, right? So I would definitely be, not cautious, but I mean, if we have a look right here, something incredible that Bitcoin has done, as we pointed out, every single time that we have, especially on the market cipher, Bitcoin hitting the RSI in this 100 area, we tend to go on a very, very long, very aggressive move to the upside. In fact, the last time that this happened, as we pointed out, Bitcoin essentially, from this area right here to the top, basically had a 400% move, and that move happened in less than 500 days. And in fact, if you want to come over here, we got up to around the $67,000 area, which was, around that 400% move, and that only took about 154 days. So this can obviously move quicker than most can anticipate, but what is interesting is if we take this major trend line, right, we take this peak right here, all the way back in 2017, we draw the line all the way out here, you could see where this area, right, started acting as that support during the previous bull run before we broke down. Well, look what's happening right here, guys. That level has been acting as basically resistance, with the exception of this fake out right here, for multiple weeks, and we are bouncing off of it. We are literally seeing things that we have never seen happen before for Bitcoin. It is exciting times, and you know what's even scarier is that I'm still not really hearing retail getting excited yet. So all of this is happening, and, you know, the Uber drivers are not talking about Bitcoin. The, you know, deli person at the deli that's making your sandwich, they're not talking about Bitcoin yet. You know what's going to happen? I just got an alert over here. You know what's going to happen? What's going to happen is as soon as we hit that all-time high, that's when the news, the media coverage is going to come out, and that's when things get crazy. And once you break the all-time high, I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but my goodness, has this market moved a lot faster than we thought, that is when things are going to get absolutely crazy. So I want to dive into the really interesting part of today's video, but I also did want to point out the fact that MetaSignals did actually call this. And look at this, guys. They had the stop down here. The stop did not get hit. So if you got in this trade, you held in this trade, it was a little scary. It looked like it was going to dip, but look at this, guys. It blasted well on through the take profit 3 target. So again, if you are not in MetaSignals, unfortunately, the longer you wait to purchase the NFT to get lifetime access to these amazing signals, which have been absolutely killing it, the more expensive it's going to get. And they only have 124 spots left until they're closing this again. So I would highly suggest you guys check this out because this has been absolutely killing it, guys. Check out MetaSignals. I have the link below in the description. So this is where I want to start today. We had a milestone yesterday. We had IBIT, which is BlackRock's ETF, trading $1 billion worth of shares. And this was actually earlier in the day. It actually did even more than that. And that's what I said this morning. I said, breaking. BlackRock's Bitcoin holdings have now surpassed 7 billion. And I put this little Pac-Man guy eating the Bitcoin over here because this is what I'm trying to say, and this is what I've been saying. For everyone that was freaking out and panicking during all these little dips, we said that the dips moving forward are buy the dip opportunities. Because if not, who are you selling it to? You're selling it to BlackRock and friends. And those guys, they're not day traders, right? These people that are buying Bitcoin in the ETFs, they're looking to hold for long periods of time. They're not looking at the charts. They're not trying to time their entries. No, they're looking to buy and hold these assets for long periods of time, 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. And as they ramp up from 1% allocation to 2% to 3% or higher, this is where you're going to see things get crazy. And, remember that you don't actually need the exact amount of dollars. Like, you don't need $1 to come in to move the market cap $1, right? $1 can actually move it $3 to $4, especially with this supply crunch. And here's the crazy thing. So I put this out on Twitter. I don't know if you've been hearing about it. I've been seeing all these different TikTok videos talking about Jeff Bezos and all these different politicians that have been selling billions of dollars worth of stocks. The Walton family, Walmart, they were selling their stocks. But at the same time, Bitcoin is pumping. Not saying it's a direct correlation, but what if? Quite a coincidence that you have all these billionaires, all these large holders in these traditional stocks selling shares. At the same time, Bitcoin is having a 10% pump in basically 2 days. I'm not saying that they're buying Bitcoin, but somebody's obviously buying Bitcoin. We know Michael Saylor just bought some more Bitcoin, right? But here is the crazy thing, and this is the thing that should not be happening. This has never happened before, and this is what I want to break down. Kevin Svensson, by the way, I know I'm kind of rushing this video. I got a lot to do today, but I got to get this out to you guys. So he was talking over here on his YouTube video, and he's talking about the global liquidity. And this is just absolutely shocking when he breaks this down, guys.
If you go back in history and you look, Bitcoin's cycles are following the global liquidity, the issuance of fiat currency from central banks, the money supply. Bitcoin's price in 2012 to 2014 trending up with the global liquidity index. And then as the global liquidity index starts to sort of go sideways here, Bitcoin's price comes down. And as global liquidity shoots up, Bitcoin's price follows the global liquidity. And then you see that Bitcoin in 2018 starts to top out with the global liquidity. They both go sideways for quite some time until, of course, COVID, when the central banks around the world issued massive sums of liquidity, and they both shoot up together. And then also as the global liquidity retracts, Bitcoin's price comes down with it. And so it's a very, very important indicator that people do not discuss very often. But now what we're seeing is Bitcoin's price is diverging away from the global liquidity. We see that global liquidity isn't necessarily ticking up, but Bitcoin's price is. Why this could be the case is because there's a residual effect taking place from the massive amount of money that was injected into the global economy. So that massive injection having a lasting effect on the market, continuing to affect the market positively. Now I think the global liquidity is starting to come out to a bottom zone. Markets almost never diverge away from the global liquidity. And a lot of people don't think that Bitcoin can go above 100,000 this cycle, but with the way that things are setting up right now, I think it's quite possible that it will, against the crowd's expectations. And a lot of people assume that that's not a contrarian view, but it is, because currently the most popular analysis across crypto, for a while it was that Bitcoin's price was going to go to 10K. And then the most popular analysis now is Bitcoin's price won't go above 100. So I'm going to take the contrarian view that things might just be more bullish than people expect this cycle. And that could especially be the case if global liquidity begins ticking up with the residual effect that's already in play.
So what is going on? Why is Bitcoin not following the global liquidity as it usually does? And just think about it. If it's moving up while global liquidity is moving down, what do you think's going to happen when they turn on the money printer? What do you think's going to happen with the halving and the demand and the ETFs and the supply shock? What do you think's going to happen when they start cutting the rates? This is really crazy. And the craziest part is that the supply is dwindling still. In fact, this chart is even lower than the last time we had spoke about it. We have now percent, dipping below 12% on the exchanges. And, we broke down this math the other day. I tried to explain this to you guys. Go back and watch my previous video. At the rate that Bitcoin is being bought on the ETFs, this suggests that even based on the amount, which is around 2 million supply on exchanges, we have 25,200 Bitcoin coming out every month. That means that in about 8 months, according to this chart, if it stays the same, that means that in 8 months, there will theoretically, of course, this is a very extreme example, but if this continues at this rate in 8 months, there will not be any Bitcoin for anyone left to buy. Because all the holders are holding it, there'll be nothing left on the exchanges, and you'll be waiting for the daily, Bitcoin coming out, which is getting cut in half in April. This is crazy, crazy times that we're living through, guys. And like Luke Broyles, pointed out, and this is what I was saying about market cap. He goes, can someone explain to me why the Bitcoin market cap suddenly went up 100 billion today upon only a 0.5 billion or half billion in buys? I don't know if I think he means half a billion. So yeah, it basically doubled the amount that came in. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is why things can get very crazy. In fact, you can see right here, investors are waking up to the fact that Bitcoin is outpacing everything. Look at this, guys. Statistically, a portfolio holding 98% cash. Okay, 98% cash and 2% Bitcoin has literally beat the S&P 500 over any 4-year cycle, or really just over any 4 years in general. So just wanted to bring this to you guys. I'm telling you, yes, we can have these pullbacks. Yes, we can have a 20% retracement we had from the 0.618. If we have that again today, that will put Bitcoin back down at around 46, which would still be putting in higher lows. So again, I believe personally, not financial advice, that all dips are for buying. And again, if you're not following me, in the Telegram group, the official one below, which by the way, I don't charge for anything. I don't ask anyone for money. If I'm ever asking you for money, it's not me, it's a scammer, because I don't do stuff like that. Everything I do is free. But check that out below, because as you guys can see right here, we had GT Protocol. This was sitting at around $2-ish when we last spoke about it, and it's currently up 100%. You can see the chart right here. We were talking about it even down here in this area when it was consolidating, and we said that this was going to have a breakout, and look what it's doing again. It's consolidating again. This is just one of our picks, guys. There's a lot of altcoins I've been keeping my eye on, and as they come out, I'm going to tell you about them. I'm going to let you know about these very, very lower cap coins that, they're very, I guess they're risky in a sense, but I do my due diligence, but you should as well. But really, if you just put a small percentage into some of these altcoins, obviously keep stacking your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the bank, but there's a lot of money to be made in these markets. And my goal has always been to accumulate more Bitcoin. So if I can trade altcoins to make more Bitcoin, that's what I'm doing. You don't have to do that, not financial advice. But again, check it out, guys. And, as long as Bitcoin maintains above these, especially the EMA ribbon, then yeah, I mean, this right here is basically what we're having down here. We're getting ready to move into this giant move. So again, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I make these videos. If you want to take advantage of those bonuses, LevX is still running their $5,000 bonus. They will match your trade up to $5,000. If you win, you get to keep the profits. If you lose, it was free money anyway, right? So that's basically it, guys. If you do want to learn how to trade, check out these tutorials popping up right here, right now. Times are getting crazy. Times are getting crazy. This is what we were talking about. This is what we were talking about all last year, guys. And we had over a year and a half to prepare for this. So I love you. You're awesome. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.